Hi, grade 8 students. This is day 13, pages 498 and 499. Activity 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll notice in the directions it says, if you have a compass, do activities 1, 2, 3, and 4. What do you do if you don't have a compass? Well, watch what I do up here on the board, and then maybe try to freehand draw it without a compass. But if you have a compass, give it a shot. These should be somewhat review activities from either 6th grade or 7th grade. Escapes me right now which one it is. But let's start with activity 1. I'm going to show you how to do it. On the board we have 2 line segments. One of the line segments your textbook tells you to identify as line segment AB. And the other one is actually, I'm sorry, it's not a line segment, it's a ray. It's ray GH. And they want you to construct a line segment congruent to a given line segment. Really quite simple. All you need to do is measure the distance from A to B using your compass. Make a little arc. Keep that same distance. Draw another arc. And you're pretty much done. They want us to identify this location right here as point J. And therefore, line segment AB is congruent to line segment GJ. And at this point, I'm just going to get rid of the rest of the ray. And we'll call this an example of activity 1. Activity 2 is constructing an angle that's congruent to a given angle. So let's grab a straight edge here. If I have an angle such as this, and we're going to call it angle DEF, and your book says create an angle from a ray that they're identifying as ray JK. There it is. Okay, how do we do it? First thing, we're going to take our compass and we're going to draw an arc right here. We're going to draw the same exact arc. Don't change your compass distances at all. Right there. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the distance from here to there. And when we do that, we're going to draw an arc. We're going to take that distance over here, and we're going to draw an arc as well from this point out to here. Finally, we're going to take our straight edge, and we're going to connect J to that spot where the intersection occurred. And theoretically, if we did everything right, whoa, except dropping the straight edge, we've got 2 equal angles. They want us to label this new angle having a point M here and a point A here. And let's put, oh, we got the arrowhead, so we're set to go. How about activity 3? Activity 3 wants us to draw a perpendicular a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. A perpendicular bisector of a line segment. What in the world does that mean? Well, when we talk about something being perpendicular, that means that we're going to create something that has a 90-degree angle to the previous segment. And when we talk about it being a bisector, we mean that it's going to divide that previous line segment exactly in half as best as we can. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, I drew the line segment on the board, and I'm going to call it line segment XY, just like in the textbook. Then I'm going to take my compass, and I'm going to draw a series of arcs. An arc here, an arc down here, an arc here, and an arc here. Now, you'll notice when I draw these arcs, the distance that I open my compass needs to be a little bit bigger than halfway across the line segment to make this work. Now, all we have to do is we have to connect those two spots that are intersections of the two arcs on the top and the two arcs on the bottom. And theoretically, if I did everything right, this line creates a 90-degree angle. That's the perpendicular part. And it divides this line segment XY into two equal parts. And they have asked us to call this point M at that spot. Finally, the last activity, activity number 4. They want us to create an angle, and then they want us to bisect it. And by bisect, we mean divide it in half. So here's my angle. They are calling their angle MNP. So we'll do the same. Then we're going to grab our compass, and we're going to draw an arc. Doesn't have to be too big or too small, just a reasonable size. I'm going to take and I'm going to put my compass point here and draw arcs from those two compass points. And the arcs should be the same size as best as we can. Now, you will notice we've created an intersection of those two arcs. We're going to take and put our marker point where they meet and draw a line segment. Actually, it's going to be a ray, excuse me. A ray going through the vertex of the angle and through that intersection. And we've just divided MNP, angle MNP, into two new angles. They're asking us to identify this spot as point Q, so we'll do that. And that takes care of activities 1 through 4. If you have a compass, try to do this on your own. If you don't have a compass, try to just freehand it. I know that's ridiculous, but what are we going to do in this present situation? I don't want to put you in the spot where you have to go out and buy one. Thank you. Have a good day. Give me a call if you're stuck.